But some people saw when the first moon landing, and that's awesome. All right. But imagine us in this generation being able to see, being able to witness the very first Mars landing. Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the New Era Mindset. My name is Brian. Brian? What the fuck? Brian. I am glad to have you guys back. I am happy today. I feel really excited. I just have a certain kind of joy, a certain kind of happiness in me just for the fact of being alive in this era, for being alive in this point in human history. I'm happy that I'm able to fucking record this, express myself, say what I'm feeling, say what I'm thinking, and not give a shit about what other people are saying. That's big. That's something that, I'm sure you've heard it before, but I gotta fucking say it again. This wasn't possible before. This wasn't something that you would even imagine back then. Now we are here, all right? We are here. I'm fucking excited about how far the human race has gotten. And I'm just fucking happy to be living in this time. I know some shit is crazy. I know there's some stuff out there that just makes you fucking just like, disgusting shit. But at the same time, you look at the good side, and it's just, honestly, I wouldn't want it any other way. I know there's a lot of bad stuff and whatever, right? But I tend not to look at that. When I say I'm happy, and I'm saying that we've never lived in a greater time in history. We've never had, to be living in this time. It's, to me, I wouldn't want it any other way, to be honest. I wouldn't want it any other way for many things. Not just for the fact that, technology and other stuff, right? But I'm just happy for how things have played out in this, up until this point in my life. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that I'm fuck, The reason why I say this, all right, is because, the reason why I'm talking about this is because there are things that we, up until this day, or scientists up until this day, thought was not possible to capture an image of. And I'm almost certain that at this point you probably know what I'm talking about, because it's a fucking trend that that's going around, the whole black hole, the first black hole image ever taken, the first photo ever taken. Now, what's crazy to me is that there was somebody so smart back then that had an idea of the black holes. And they didn't have not even the slightest technology of what we have now. But, and of course, I'm talking about Einstein. And to go 100 years into the future to where we finally get an image of this thing, right? That even some people would question it. Do they really exist? Do they not exist? Are they real or are they not? Because there was just no actual visual proof of it. But to be so fucking smart that you don't have the technology, but you write down the numbers and you say, this is some over there. And not only that, but this is what it looks like based off like his methods and his general relativity and all that stuff. Listen, I'm no scientist, so excuse me if I'm not being all deep about all this shit, right? But I like some of this stuff, and I look into it as much as I can, and I try to understand some of this stuff. But to me, what blows my mind is that how the hell did he figure something out that up until now barely there was proof of? And not only that, but what he said was so about black holes. I mean, what he said about like the visuals and stuff and all these things, like it was so accurate and like, I mean, to me it's amazing, you know. And I'm happy to say that I live in an era where I finally capture where we the scientists finally captured something that who knows when they're going to be able to take another photo like that. Because I'm not going to go too deep into details about it and stuff. Because like I said, I'm not no scientist. I don't want to get some shit wrong. And I probably already did in this video. But excuse me if I sound stupid. But like, I don't know a whole lot about it. All right. But I'm just amazed at what we have been able to do. They said we can't have one telescope to capture this thing. So they had 8 different telescopes around the world to capture this. The fact that we have such smart people like that, to me, like, it's just amazing, you know. Sometimes I wonder what, like, Einstein was so smart, and that this was back then and all that, right? In the time where technology was not as advanced as it is now. Technology was not even close to what it is now. And the way Einstein thought of things, right? What if he was alive today, seeing all the technology, seeing all the things that we're able to do, seeing all the things that we're able to discover with all this these new equipment and all the things that scientists are using now? How much would Einstein's mind be able to grab some of this thing, some of those stuff, and some of these things, and say, like, and push us even further ahead into a more, I mean, how could you even think? It's hard to say how far we would go. You know, it's hard to predict where we will be in the future in terms of like technology, AI, and all this stuff. But I just wonder, what would a mind like Einstein do with, like, witnessing all these things? Think about it. I mean, I'm not saying that we don't have great minds now. I'm not saying that we don't have people with such high intelligence, you know. But I'm just saying, like, because Einstein was a different type of person. And I'm not trying to bore you with this, all right? But I am tired of people saying, like, looking at the bad things of this time, looking at the negatives of living in today's day. Let me tell you how close-minded some people are. When I was in a different, when I was working for this one corporation, I asked the lead. Well, I forgot how the conversation went to this, but I ended up telling him that making $1 million today, or fuck, I can't remember. It's such a long time ago, but the gist of the conversation was that, you know, He said that today is harder than ever to make $1 million. And I was like, how the fuck do you come to that conclusion? If you think that today is hard, like that in today's day is hard to make $1 million, I don't know what fucking cave you're living in. You know, I don't know what like what's on your mind if that's the way you see it. I mean, it's so much easier. There are so many opportunities out there. There are so many ways to start your own thing, to start working on something. Listen, like sometimes even the stupidest things will catch traction and make people millionaires. I'm not even kidding. I'm not, like, honestly. But he said that in today's day, making $1 million is way harder than it was before. Says who, or how did you come to that conclusion? I don't fucking get it. I don't understand it. It's just how close-minded some people are, man. Today's day is the best time to be alive up until this point. I'm sure in the future there's going to be like, some people are going to be saying today's day is the best time to be alive. But I think it's because we're always improving. We're always growing. We're always learning. We're always developing new things, you know. And that's good. Progress is good, you know. But for somebody who has lived in different time periods, and they saw the time change, and still their mind stayed with with what they learned in the past, and they didn't adapt, and like, you know, that's a loss on them. That's a loss on them, because in order to succeed, in order to always keep succeeding, you need to keep adapting. You need to keep learning what's new, what's coming up, what's something that just was developed that I need to learn about that can make my job easier. Whatever it is, you need to be adapting, and that's how you stay on top of the train that will lead you to success. You know, but and today, it's easier to do that. It's easier to stay and like up to date with things, because you have the internet, you know, and that gives you access to so many things in a way that it wasn't possible before. Now, if you're not staying up to date with with the things that are going on nowadays, then it's probably you're not searching the right stuff. You're probably going home and maybe instead of seeing what Elon Musk is doing with with SpaceX trying to get to Mars, you're probably maybe going on the TV and listening to the news and looking at all the crime and all the hate that goes on around the world, instead of checking up what's, you know, when are we going to get to another planet. Like, to me, that's the kind of stuff that's interesting, you know. But if you look at today's day, it's what's happening is breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. And still some people think that there aren't worse times than today, just because they saw somebody shooting somebody on social media, or just because they hear something on the internet that was negative, or whatever it is. Something that was presented to them that was impacted in a negative way, and then we go and say, fuck, like, what the fuck is going on with us? It all depends on what you look at. It all depends on your perspective. Are you always looking at the bad stuff? Are you always looking at the things that are impacting you in a negative way? You know, I like to see the good stuff. I like to say that, you know, I do say, you know, what's good, it's good right now. What's good, it's fucking great. It's awesome. It's fucking amazing. And then you got dumbass people, and that makes it you got dumbass people doing dumbass things, and that catches a trend, and it gets all hyped, you know, to the point where even people get in accidents, even get killed for trying to do either some fucking challenge or some, you know. In that part, things are getting stupid. But when you look at the other shit over here, the good stuff that's going on, it's like, fuck, I want to look at this stuff instead. That's the way I see it. I want to, that's another thing that I'm happy about the whole Mars shit. Like, we're gonna get, well, when I say we, let me explain something real quick. When I say we, I don't put myself in the position like me saying that I'm working with these scientists. I'm saying us as humans, you know. But there were some people that saw when the first people landed in the moon. And I know some of that shit was fake. I know some of that footage was fake. And some still believe it's fake and that, we have never left the planet and all this stuff. But some people saw when the first moon landing. And that's awesome. All right. But imagine us in this generation being able to witness the very first Mars landing. Like, is that not a fucking breakthrough? Is that not a something that just expands the idea of what we humans can really do, Think about it. Think about it, guys. Honestly, was this something that was even predicted before? Like 100 years from now? Was this something that was even thought of as possible 100 years from now? Not 100 years from now. 100 years ago. This is the greatest time to live in, and honestly, I'm proud to say that, and I'm happy being here today. I'm happy being alive in this time, in this era, because I'm witnessing some shit that just blows my mind. It blows my mind to see some of this stuff, And if you think that we're not in the best time, then you need to get out of your cocoon and, freaking start doing some research and realizing what's really out there. You want to make some money? You can find a way. You want to get knowledge without having to pay for somebody to teach you all this stuff? Shit, you got the internet. There's access to many things. There's opportunities for a lot of things. There's it's just so easy now. It's easy. And I know some people may, when you are trying to adapt or when you're trying to use technology to your advantage and it makes you seem like you're being lazy and really you're just being smart about it because it saves you time. I know there's people out there that still think it's just you being lazy. But listen, we're finding ways to make our lives easier. And yes, some use it for laziness. But some of us use technology to our advantage so that we can make our lives easier to be able to dedicate certain times to other stuff that are more productive. See what I mean? But yeah, with this video though, like what I want people to realize with this video is that no matter where you are, no matter what time in life you're in, there's going to be bad stuff and there's going to be good stuff. All right. I'm just saying the good stuff now, it's way better than the good stuff that was before. But still there's bad stuff. But what you're focusing your attention on is what defines for you whether you're living in a better time or a worser time. If I keep looking at the bad stuff, then I'm going to keep saying that things are bad. Watch what you focus on. I think it's the greatest fucking time to be alive. All these breakthroughs. We got to see the first actual photo of a black hole. How amazing is that? Think about it. I don't know, like sometimes I like to talk about things like this, not just for people to kind of for some people to switch their way of thinking, but I like to express myself in this form and put it out there, because it also helps me. It helps me embrace the fact of the words that I'm saying, you know. It helps me realize even more that, like, when I'm telling you right now that we're in the greatest time, it makes me realize it even more. And I'm like, fuck, we really are. Like, it hits me even more, you know. We're in the best time, man. We're in the best times. Yeah. Well, that's it for this video, guys. If you haven't seen this whole black hole stuff, you gotta go check that shit out, man. It's not just check it out, not just see the image. The image is not even a super awesome resolution kind of image. It looks kind of blurry, and you know, and giving that it's fucking far. I know there are some out there that are complaining about the image resolution. Who gives a shit? It's a fucking image of a black hole, man. Go check that out. Go check it out. And not only that, look at it, like, listen to the story behind it and how they went about taking the photo. It's interesting stuff. Real interesting stuff. All right. Well, I'll leave you guys with this one. Again, thank you guys for coming back and listening to me talk about some random ass shit or whatever. But yeah, I really appreciate that. If you guys like this, please give it a like, subscribe. That helps me know that I'm actually doing good. Only subscribe if you like this stuff. If you don't like it, but you want to watch it either way, you know, only subscribe if you like that, because I want to know that I'm giving you value. I want to know that you're doing it because you actually genuinely like my content. All right. But yeah, that's it for this one, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. All right. Take care. Bye.